The police of this city, Los Angeles, have a long, complex, and far from happy history with the residents of this city. Union organizers in the early 1900s, Japanese and then Mexicans in the 1940s, African Americans in the 1960s particularly, and again in the 1990s, and yesterday back to the Hispanics. A number 2 story on the countdown. The LAPD is once again investigating the LAPD. Participants in and reporters covering an immigration demonstration yesterday here say they were stampeded by the police without warning and with rubber bullets fired at and batons used on women and children. Within hours, even the city's police chief called the violence in MacArthur Park inappropriate. Our correspondent is Peter Alexander. Peter, good evening.
Good evening, Keith. This is exactly where that clash took place. After a day of demonstrations that most people had described as both peaceful and positive, it turned violent. The May Day march turned into a melee. After a day of peaceful immigration protests, a few thousand demonstrators had gathered in a downtown Los Angeles park. Authorities say several people in the crowd threw rocks and bottles at officers. Police in riot gear responded, firing foam bullets and using batons to disperse the crowd.
Move her back, you're under arrest.
You can't do that. You cannot do that. This is a public park. We have the right to be here.
This man, hit by 2 rubber bullets, said, "I don't care if they kill me." Another man cradled his child. And on the ground, on his knees, documenting it all, Juan Guerra, a photographer for NBC's Spanish language network Telemundo. Police kicked him. And as their line advanced, another officer grabbed his camera and threw it. Meanwhile, Telemundo's national newscast was broadcasting live. Anchorman Pedro Sevsek was getting ready to go on the air.
1 minute I was live, and the next minute I was running for my life. And suddenly, I got a police officer pointing one of those shotguns at my face.
Was this just clearly a case of excessive force?
It was excessive force. They basically hit women, children, and journalists.
Police Chief William Bratton today canceled a trip to Central America to deal with the fallout, calling some officers' actions inappropriate.
I share the understandable concern and frustration of all of you that once again the department, its members, and the community are involved in such a troubling event.
Among those injured, about a dozen officers and 10 civilians. A day designed to focus on immigrants' rights, now overshadowed by the controversial actions of Los Angeles police. The LAPD says at least 9 people were arrested, and the Los Angeles City Council is demanding a review and report of exactly what happened here within 30 days. Keith?
Peter Alexander reporting from MacArthur Park.